No reprieve for motorists as industry insiders see another big-time oil price hike next week. The Trade Department will try to persuade manufacturers not to hike prices of basic goods at least until the holiday season is over. And agri-groups join forces to ask for the removal of 2 economic managers from the Marcos administration. Fast, focused, and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Denise Tan. Yet another steep hike in petroleum prices is looming. DOE Oil Industry Management Bureau Director Rino Abad is projecting an increase of over 1 peso per liter in fuel products next week. He told Radio 5 that this is based on how the trading is going so far. Abad is hoping that supply cuts from oil-producing countries will not impact Philippine petroleum prices and trigger them to go up by more than a peso in the next few days. Abad has predicted that oil price hikes could persist until December.
Para lang accurate, ang estimate po natin, sobra po talaga ng 1 peso.
Pero hindi naman aabot sa 2 pesos.
Depende sa last day. Pag hindi po masyadong gumalaw sa last day, mukhang hindi.
Meanwhile, other industry insiders are seeing an increase of up to 2 pesos and 20 centavos in the price of diesel next week. Gasoline is likewise expected to get more expensive by as much as 1 peso and 60 centavos. If the increase pushes through, it will be the 11th straight week of hike in oil prices. The Trade Department will try to convince manufacturers of basic goods not to jack up their prices this year. The agency said that 14 manufacturers are seeking an increase on the suggested retail price of their products, including bottled water, coffee, and canned sardines. The hike petition is on the back of higher costs of raw materials and petroleum products. Should manufacturers refuse to hold off the request, several basic commodities will be pricier during holiday season.
Nagre-range from 10 centavos at gawin na lang natin sa food, no? Sa food para ano. So mula less than 50 cents to 7 pesos. Ang unang hakbang muna natin, no, na talagang pakiusapan muna ang mga manufacturers na ito na wag munang magtaas para wala tayong maramdamang pagtataas hopefully, no, within the year.
The Department of Foreign Affairs is looking at Argentina as another source of rice imports for the Philippines. DFA Secretary Enrique Manalo discussed the possibility with Argentinian Foreign Minister Andres Cafiero in Buenos Aires on Wednesday. No other details were released regarding the matter. But for presidential sister and Senator Amy Marcos, there's no need for importation. Instead, she believes that government should just focus on improving local production.
Bonggang-bongga ko tutol dyan. Unang-una, wala namang krisis sa bigas. Ba't gawa-gawa ng ganyan? Dapat yung importation, last resort. Ang dami pang binibentang bigas na lokal.
Several agricultural groups are calling for the removal from the Marcos cabinet of Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno and Socio-Economic Planning Chief Arsenio Balisacan. In a joint statement, the group slammed the officials to post railroading of a public hearing on the proposal to reduce rice tariffs. The farmers' advocates believe less tariffs on foreign rice will spell the death of the local industry and will only benefit importers. With this, the agri-group wants Diokno and Balisacan out. The joint statement was signed by the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG, Federation of Free Farmers, Philippine Confederation of Grains Association at Kilusang Magbubukid ng Pilipinas, Pambansang Manalon, Mag-uuma, Magbabaul, Magsasakan ng Pilipinas, and the National Movement for Food Sovereignty. We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Thanks for staying with us here on One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. The word war rages between Vice President and DepEd Chief Sara Duterte and opposition lawmakers Risa Hontiveros and Franz Castro. On September 11, the VP lambasted the legislators for criticizing the confidential funds of her agencies. Senator Hontiveros noted that the office of the VP is not special as budgets of all other government departments are also scrutinized. Duterte has this to say about the Solon's remark.
I do not respect Ms. Castro and Ms. Ontiveros. I have no respect for them. Hindi naman kami ever nagsabi na special ang Office of the Vice President. We respected the process doon sa budget hearing ng House of Representatives and ng Senate. The discretion, the decision whether to grant confidential funds is really up to Congress.
This morning, Congresswoman Franz Castro spoke to Ted Filon and DJ Chacha on Radio 5. Here's Castro's reaction to the VP saying she does not respect the ACT party list representative.
The feeling is mutual, kaya nga nung sinasabi natin, dapat mahiya din siya sa taong bayan at maipaliwanag niya. Kahit na sa mga botante niya, dapat mahiya din siya at maipaliwanag niya saan niya ginastos talaga itong 125 million na ito.
For her part, Hontiveros said she is not asking for Duterte's respect but wants an explanation on why she needs confidential funds.
Hindi ko kailangan na ang respeto mo, VP Sara. Kung hindi mo kayang irespeto ang mga katrabaho mo, irespeto mo man lang sana ang paggasta ng pera ng bayan. Higit 1 linggo na, simula nang nag-hearing tungkol sa confidential funds, pero mas marami ka pang patutsada kaysa sa paliwanag.
In sports, former NCAA player John Amores says he does not want a repeat of his in-game meltdown if drafted into the PBA. Amores is one of the 100-plus applicants for the PBA draft slated on September 17. He calls the PBA slot as his last chance at a fruitful basketball career. In an interview with Sa Totoo Lang on 1PH, Amores revealed he attended an anger management intervention as well as a class on sports psychology. He said he still gets riled up in games, but at least now he knows his limits. Back in November, Amores was a central figure in a brawl between his former team, the JRU Heavy Bombers, and the College of St. Benilde Blazers.
Ito na po yung pinaka-last chance ko. Hindi na pwedeng mangyari sa ulit sa akin, lalo na sa PBA kung mapipick man ako. Hindi po ako nagpapaka-plastic dito na dumadating pa rin po sa time na umiinit pa rin po yung ulo ko. Pero hindi na po ganun, katulad ng dati. Kung ano man ang sabihin nila, kung imbas nila ako, wala na akong magagawa din. Pero ako, para sa akin, masaya naman po ako sa ginagawa ko. And sana, maging masaya sila sa ginagawa din nila.
Overseas, NASA has a new director of research into unidentified anomalous phenomenon, or UAP. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson made the announcement after a panel of experts called for more data gathering on unexplained events. Nelson said that so far, there's no evidence of an extraterrestrial origin for strange phenomena. On a more personal note, Nelson shared that he believes that life exists beyond Earth. Recall that earlier this week, 2 supposedly non-human bodies were presented during a congressional hearing in Mexico.
In June of last year, NASA commissioned an independent study team to examine unidentified anomalous phenomena. We did so with a few goals in mind. First, to examine how NASA can use our expertise and instruments to study UAP from a scientific perspective. Second, shift the conversation about UAP from sensationalism to science. The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. But we don't know what these UAP are.
Catch the big story later at 8 p.m. for the day's headlines. Have a restful weekend, everyone. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News, all sides, all the time.